Hello, greetings everyone, and namaste. I'm Prakash Sandagiri from Nepal. This is great privilege to be with you today, and I'd like to share you about developing on demand or online courses. And this is great privilege to speak with your university. And I'm from Nepal, Prakash Sandagiri, Gupteshwar Mahadev Multiple Campus, a faculty member from Nepal. This is really privilege to speak all the way from Nepal to Philippines. And this is great opportunity for us to exchange the ideas, share some of the informations between the faculties and professors, curriculum developers, designers, and even the learning students. I'd like to start the course the presentation today with the topic. The topic is developing an on-demand online program. After pandemic or during the pandemic, going all the universities were directly affected for face-to-face classes, we started to develop some courses online or to lead the courses as well. So the presentation of the main aim of this presentation or the presentation of this sharing is this: to have the facilitators or teachers, professors, designers, instructional designers or curriculum developers, so that they can apply some of the developing course strategy for impactful trainings in your context. It can be helpful for you. So there are 4 steps while designing course. Number 1, planning. First, plan. When there is a plan, and we do with the plans, and there is success. Number 2, organizing. We need to organize. Planning, under planning syllabus, organizing, developing. How can we go through this? And finally, flying to the world or delivering the course to the universities students, school students, in your context. It's up to you. Number 1, planning. The learning course preparation process while planning under this, I can share you like number 1 is setting goals. First, what are the objective of the course development? First, we need to have a mind map or the setting the goals. And we need to collect the resources. And why we are doing, need to define the concepts. Map out like the learning course. Create the syllabus, a plan, units, subunits, subtopics. So Lily Tomlin says that the road to success is always under construction. So planning process is very, very powerful way to design any kind of on-demand or online courses. Number 2, organizing. Let's organize the LMS online course framework with determining the sequence of our lesson, modules, or topics or units. We can upload the items. We need to populate the course with relevant information. What kind of information are relevant for my context? What kind of are not? We need to populate our course with the relevant information. Only irrelevant information we can avoid. And take another look at your guidelines to make sure so it reflects the lesson topics. Next, developing. Let's organize the lesson module framework, determine the sequence of our tasks, some of the activities, assignments, some of the assessment, but assessment is mostly formative. Assessment depends on some checklists, some quizzes, some like pre or post quizzes, diagnostic quizzes, or we can say like some forms, some surveys, some of the assignments to upload like videos, or some of the writings, activities. So let's determine the sequence of our tasks, what to do. Under the lesson 1 or the unit 1, what kind of the activities we can keep under this? Sub-lessons, activities, reflections, discussion forum, how can we create? And how can we evaluate before the courses and after course? Which is the journey? And while creating discussion forum, how can we discuss the discussion prompt questions? What kind of questions we can develop or create? So we need to include LMS features and components also in support of lesson assignment activities, like some of the calendars, discussion forums, glossaries, assignments, announcements, links, multimedia, different ways of the communications ways. And we need to review the feedback with the collaboration partners, or the feedback we need to collect, because we need feedback for improvement. Let's continue to consider the feedback provided by our collaboration partner or the group. How can feedback is organized? So feedback provides another set of eyes to discover something you have missed, or another perspective. So there are two perspectives always while developing an online course. Number 1, learner's perspective or passenger perspective. Another one, facilitator or designer perspective, pilot perspective. Pilot perspective and then passenger perspective, in two perspectives we have to see while developing the courses. So we need to continue to develop our lesson module and modify our LMS based on the feedback. We can modify some documents as needed. It's for the context, because it's for the context, as levels, class levels, we can modify it. So we all people need feedback. Who will give us feedback? That's how we improve. So feedback is the breakfast for the champions. Next, delivering the lesson. While delivering the lessons, some of the students learning behaviors, online netiquette, we say netiquette. Not only etiquette, netiquette, internet etiquette, we need to understand. So I have one video. I want to show you this video. You can really love this video. And after watching this, you can get some of the ideas. So I'd like to connect you with some videos here. Let's see the videos here. Okay.
I thought it would be useful to go over some strategies on how to help students who are struggling in an online class. So I'm going to offer you 4 suggestions. We always hope that our students will be able to make it through class and do well, but the reality is sometimes students don't make it. It helps to plan. The first strategy is to be clear in your course expectations. We've talked about most of these things already, but just as a reminder, be clear on what is graded and how much everything is worth. If you have optional assignments, mark them as optional. Also mark the time that things are due. Usually assignments in an online class are due at midnight. Also have clear policies, such as be clear on what counts for participation. Also have a clear policy for late work or missed work, specifying any consequences if you have them. It also helps to have a clear communication plan for students. If they know that they are having short-term troubles in getting their work done, what should they do? Who should they contact? What are their options? What should they ask for? And you can warn students that they will need to be extra careful in an online class with their time and with their responsibility, because they will have to take responsibility for their own learning and for their grade. That was number 1, to be clear. Number 2, know your options as a teacher. If you're working with an institution, are there obligations you need to follow? Does your institution mind if the student doesn't pass the class? What if half of the class doesn't pass, or a third of the class doesn't pass? If failing students isn't an option, are there other options available? For instance, can you give incompletes? Can students retake the course with no penalty in a face-to-face format? If some students aren't succeeding in the online format, can they transfer over to a face-to-face format instead? It helps to know what the options are. It also is important to know if failing your class will affect the students in the future, and specifying to students what will happen if they fail your class. And how will failing your class potentially affect overall enrollment at your institution? So those have to do with knowing your options as a teacher. My third tip is to model best practices in your teaching. We've talked about these already, but just as a reminder, be present in the class. Students do better when they know that someone is watching. Also give feedback on time, model very timely communication so students have nothing to complain about in terms of your behavior and your teaching. And personalize your feedback, make them want to work for you. And the final suggestion I have for you is to follow up with students who are struggling. And be careful and intentional with how you follow up. Certainly you can begin by sending emails to your students that are encouraging, but before long, if students are really falling behind, you'll probably need to get a little more serious with your communication. You can tell them exactly what needs to be done by what time in order to help them get on track, so they don't feel overwhelmed like they just may as well quit, but offer them options, kind of a life-saving device. Offer a plan that is feasible. If that still doesn't work, you're going to have to keep up with your email communications and be very clear of what the consequences are, including penalties, due dates, what the next plan of action will be if they don't follow up by a certain time. And also consider CCing your supervisor or your director on these communications. That way you have a paper trail and documentation if there are further problems and the student might contest their grade. And also your director is kept in the loop and might be able to offer some suggestions as well. In fact, before you begin sending emails, you probably want to talk to your supervisor or director to make sure that you have a plan in place and they know what's coming. And finally, be ready to do whatever you say you're going to do. If you say to students you will not accept something after a certain time unless they do certain things, then it's probably best to follow that. So be careful what you actually threaten students with. So those are 4 tips. Be clear in your course expectations, know your options as a teacher, model best practices in your teaching, and follow up consistently and clearly with struggling students. Hope those are helpful.
Yes, so with this, another articles you can read, like difficult online students addressing some disruptive behavior in virtual classroom, how they do on it as well. So you need to know, or we need to know while delivering some of the behaviors of the students, how we can treat them, how we can make them. So finalizing process, we can say that let's think about what types of question will generate beneficial feedback to consider for your course and lesson design and learning experience. So we can create a survey. That survey helps us to make more, like to finalize the process and to have the more additional comments. And discussion post instructions or the discussion prompt question while creating a reminder, like for some discussion from interaction, so that it brings a much aha moment among the participants. Let them reply. So learning process, it goes like vertical, like I'm a facilitator, online facilitator, and then I give some of the ideas from this perspective and they learn. This is the vertical perspective, the vertical, like the way strategy, but horizontal strategy that through the discussion, they learn more each other, giving the reply, discussing each other's, oh, this is that. So they can create some much aha moment where they are learning. That's why this is a formative kind of the assessment we can create among the learners in the online forum. And another one is like some question, they are still confusion. What can be like this? So much aha moment. Some can be like aha questions they can create. So while creating some like reminder for discussion from interaction, like you can write like create an authentic post, read others post or reply others post in the discussion from at least a reply. So it brings a kind of learning community. So how can we make online classroom more interactive? Because many are busy and they try to take the course, they need to complete the assignments or things, but there are some problems. So let's find the ways to make our online classroom more interactive. Number one, let's integrate real-time interaction. That's the genuine ideas. Authentic idea is real-time interaction. The more we do through different ways, it brings a kind of the intimacy, and then it brings a kind of relational experience. Number two, let's make the creative with discussion boards. They can reply each other, they can write or create the authentic post from their perspective, and maximize the engagement with non-task interactions. They can post the videos and then do some of the activities. And let's use the multiple communication tools. Like we can use different ways of communication tools so that when they feel something like some of the travelance, like online learning travelance, so that we can easily reply or reach to them. The problem is in online facilitating or online developing things, the more we communicate, the more we can let them learn. That's why to learn more through the online classes, we have to understand while developing that, how can we make more communicative? What kind of tools we can use while facilitating the people? And have a plan around the tool. What kind of tool we are using, when are you using? So all the like communication tools or the multimedia ideas or the medium, we can think upon that so that we can improve more. What makes a successful online learner? Number one, persistence. This is the powerful one. Effective time management skills. If we don't manage the time, we cannot be a successful online learner. Effective and appropriate communication skills. The more we communicate, the more we learn and the more we can engage. Basic technical skills. Some technical glitches or some problems occur, we can solve, or we can Google up, or we can see the like ChatGPT or something like that, so that we can solve the problems. Reading and writing skills, some motivations and independence. We need to have the motivation, self-regulating learning strategy, a good study environment. For example, see, there's no much noise in my room here. I'm so peacefully speaking now because this is a good study environment. So there are some of the career-wise success online ideas on the link you can see there. And 5 roles of the online instructor or facilitator. Not only we are developer or designer, we are technology specialist. We should be a lot. Get ready. Every time a lot that we can solve the problems. We need to be digital literate. Content coach. Oh, this is the idea. You can go ahead with this. Director, like we can direct, we can manage, we can correspond well. So we are designers. That's why 5 roles of the online instructor or facilitator: e-learning designer, technology specialist, content coach, social director, managing correspondent. Online course design checklist. See, first, course designing, goals and objectives. What are they? Number 1 point. Content presentation. How do we present the content? How do we engage the learners? What kind of technology we are using or tools are we using? What are the communication strategy? We need to develop a community, learning community of practice, interaction logistics. So these things are some checklist so that we can develop some online course. Similarly, assessment. Under the assessment, expectation, whether they meet expectations or not. How can we design the assessment? Quizzes, diagnostic tools, are the quizzes, surveys, pre-test, post-test, self-assessment, like how they are learning each other. Learner supports. What are the roles of the instructor? How can we give them feedback? How can we give feedback? What is the orientation of the course? Whether they are aligned with the course from the beginning to end or not. How, if they are facing some of the ideas, they don't know about the LMS, there might be Canvas, Google Classroom, Forthright, a different other LMS system might be, and how we are aligned, how we are leading them from the beginning to end. So orientation, who is the facilitator? Is he valid? Is it like reliable or not, or qualified, trained, experienced or not? How can we support the technological ideas and information? This is very powerful. Say the course plan. How can we make the course plan? This is very powerful way. First, title of course. For example, teaching English as a second language in Philippines. An English teacher can create this course. Teaching English as a second language in Philippines. So this is the course title, can be. Or teaching English as a foreign language or second language, what country you have. Target learners, teaching English as a foreign language in Nepal, in my context. Title of course. Target learners, who are the target learners? Might be adult learners or the student secondary levels, higher secondary levels, or the graduate levels, or the master's levels, or the PhD levels, learners who are learning English or communication skills, fluency skills we can develop, or we are teaching them. What is the LMS? Whether it's a Forthright or Canvas, Google Classroom, how we are leading them, which LMS system are we using so that they can learn asynchronously? Or is it a fully online or blended format we need to think of? The length of the course, whether 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, how are we planning to make the course? It's a certificate or diploma course. What kind of course? Like for certificate, TESOL certificate course, 120 hours course online, or see the content focus. What kind of content are we using? This is very powerful. In course description. Course description. What the course about? What is the course about? What's the learning objectives of the course? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. These are the course objectives, and they will learn this after this session or this course. We need to determine course learning objectives. Even unit-wise, we can make this. Learning analysis. When designing training courses for organizations or the institutions, one of the things we have to do, make sure that the training fits the needs of the intended audience. That is called audience analysis. Some of the questions we can ask through the Google form or survey. Learner feedback, positive comments about your course and lessons, or if they have faced some of the issues while piloting the course, we can have the more feedbacks and then recommendation for improvement. So while developing course online, we don't go directly the ones, like we need to use the pilot course. Pilot course means like we see the two perspectives, like pilot perspectives and passenger perspective, and we develop it together. What are the contents areas need to improve, and the assignments, videos, or the materials or documents, how learners are playing the documents. We need to be very careful on that so that we can help to improve more. That's why sometimes the questions are complicated, the answers are simple. See, there are some of the references documents. I will just show some of the website also, you online course design, so design models. So there are some of the links you can see, like connectivism, constructivism. So you can read the constructivism, this constructivism is very powerful. I will make a little bit full. See here, this is a constructive approach to online teaching and learning. See, you can say two learning models. We have to understand that online instructor is a facilitator. Here, see, learning should take place in authentic and real-world environments. Learning should involve social negotiation and mediation. Content and skills should be made relevant to the learners. Teachers serve primarily as guides and facilitators of learning, not instructors. That is more facilitating online. Yeah, that's why I'm using the facilitators. Constructivist, putting it into the practice, the power of choice. So this is very nice article if you like to read. So learning involves active cognitive processing. Learning is adaptive. Learning is subjective, not objective. Learning involves both social, cultural, individual processes. Social, cultural, you can, or individual processes. So there are some of the others, like I want to show to you one video also, like this is very powerful video. I think I can show this. Oh, this video is, it's very powerful, so that you can. So with this, I want to say that these are the some reference and documents, like reading the some learning insight. Like I want to show this insight is very powerful. Like instructional design models for online courses. There are some of the examples here. You can read more if you have the times, and it helps to learn more. And I've listed here some of the links so that you can get insights, and it helps. Online course designs or online course designs and some others materials you can see from here and in different ways. It helps to learn more. Even checklist also, it is very powerful checklist. You can see here, online course checklist. It improves like what are the goals and objectives, as I just shared before, like key points while developing courses or course design into such elements as the structure of the course, and then objectives, organization of content, whether they are really located or not, content is made available or not, in a very manageable segments or not, learner engagement. Is it clear how the instructional strategy enable the students to reach the course goals, objectives or not? Tools available within the LMS are really friendly or not, learner friendly or not, interaction, collaboration, how it goes, assessment, how we are like meeting the expectations, so learner support, how we are doing. It's a very, very powerful checklist. It can help to learn more on these points. So with these all points, we can develop some of the online courses ideas. And being an instructional designer, as an instructional designer, I work most of my time designing the courses, and I have been facilitating some of the courses. I designed 3 courses, and I have been like facilitating more than 900 learners from 120 countries. I've been facilitating in different topics. So let's explore, let's plan, let's develop, and let's fly to the world. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can write me, and this is my WhatsApp number. You can write, oh, I learned from you in our university. You are from Nepal, so I'd like to talk to you. If you want to talk, you can always talk with this Access Online. I am available for you to help when you need it. Thank you so much, Gupteshwar Mahadi Multiple Campus Family Team and your university here in Philippines. Now, thank you so much for listening. I would like to travel together, which will be smarter. We are with you. I am with you. Let's share each other. Let's learn each other, and let's grow each other. And the world, let's rock. Let's impact. Let's double our knowledge. With this saying, I'd like to thank you all team, for this great opportunity. Thank you so much. Have a blessed time with everyone.